The summer of 1999, the icy heights of Kargil. India faced a stark challenge. Pakistani forces, disguised as militants, had infiltrated deep inside Indian territory. They occupied strategic heights overlooking the vital National Highway 1A. This lifeline connected Srinagar to Ladakh. This was a grave threat to India's security.
India responded swiftly and decisively. Operation Vijay was launched to evict the intruders. And at the heart of this operation was the Indian Air Force's Operation Safed Sagar. The IAF's role was pivotal. They provided the much-needed air power. They struck enemy positions. They helped the Indian Army regain control of the treacherous terrain.
Operation Safed Sagar was about courage under fire. It was about precision in the face of adversity. This is the story of how the IAF rose to the occasion. They played a decisive role in securing victory for India.
Operation Safed Sagar was not just about military objectives. It was about defending the nation. It was about protecting our land and our people. The IAF's brave pilots and crew members displayed extraordinary skill. They showed unwavering commitment. They ensured the success of the mission.
The Kargil War was a testament to the valor and sacrifice of the Indian armed forces, and Operation Safed Sagar stands out as a shining example of air power. It showcased the crucial role of air power in modern warfare. This is their story. Pakistan's plan was audacious. They wanted to cut off the supply line to Siachen Glacier. They aimed to isolate Indian troops there. The infiltrators took up positions on peaks ranging from 16,000 to 18,000 feet. This gave them a tactical advantage. They could rain down fire on Indian forces.
The infiltration caught India off guard. It was a clear violation of the line of control. The LOC is the de facto border between India and Pakistan in the Kashmir region. The intrusion posed a significant threat. It could escalate into a wider conflict.
The Pakistani forces were well equipped. They had artillery guns. They possessed anti-aircraft weapons. They were prepared for a long standoff. The situation demanded a swift and effective response. India had to act decisively.
The Indian Army launched ground offensives to dislodge the enemy, but the terrain was treacherous. The enemy was well entrenched. It was clear that air power would be crucial. That's when Operation Safed Sagar was launched.
Operation Safed Sagar had clear objectives. First, neutralize the enemy positions. Second, support the Indian Army's advance. Third, maintain air superiority over the battlefield. But the IAF faced daunting challenges.
The high altitude and thin air posed significant operational constraints. Aircraft performance was affected, fuel consumption was higher, weapon delivery became more complex. The limited number of airfields in the region was another hurdle. The IAF had to operate from bases far from the battle zone. This reduced their time over the target. It also limited the payload they could carry.
Adding to the complexity were the rules of engagement. The IAF had strict instructions to avoid crossing the LOC. This was to prevent the conflict from escalating. This restriction limited their options for targeting.
Finally, the Pakistani forces had deployed surface-to-air missiles. These posed a significant threat to IAF aircraft. The pilots had to be extra cautious. They had to employ evasive maneuvers to avoid being hit.
Section 4. Flying high, fighting hard. The IAF in action. Despite the challenges, the IAF swung into action. They deployed a range of aircraft for the operation.
MiG-21s, MiG-27s, Jaguars and Mirage 2000 took to the skies. Each aircraft had a specific role to play.
The initial strikes were carried out by MiG-21s and MiG-27s. These aircraft were armed with rockets and bombs. They targeted enemy positions identified by the Indian Army.
The pilots displayed exceptional skill and courage. They flew close to the mountains and braved enemy fire to deliver their payloads accurately.
The Mirage 2000, equipped with laser-guided bombs, proved to be a game-changer. These bombs offered pinpoint accuracy and could destroy enemy bunkers and fortifications with minimal collateral damage.
The Mirage 2000 pilots flew daring missions. They targeted key enemy positions and helped turn the tide of the battle.
Throughout the operation, the IAF also deployed helicopters. Mi-17s and Mi-8s played a crucial role in logistics and casualty evacuation. They braved enemy fire to transport supplies and evacuate wounded soldiers.
The IAF's ground crew worked tirelessly. They ensured that the aircraft were always ready for action. They worked round the clock, braving harsh conditions, and played a vital role in the success of the operation.
Section 5. Turning the Tide. Key phases of the air campaign. Operation Safed Sagar can be broadly divided into 3 phases.
The initial phase began on May 26, 1999. This phase involved reconnaissance missions to assess the extent of the Pakistani intrusion. It also involved strikes on enemy positions using unguided bombs and rockets.
The second phase saw the introduction of the Mirage 2000 and laser-guided bombs. This significantly enhanced the IAF's precision strike capability. Key enemy positions were targeted and destroyed, including Tiger Hill, which was heavily defended.
The final phase focused on providing close air support to the advancing Indian Army troops. The IAF continued to target enemy positions, helping to clear the way for the ground offensive.
Throughout these phases, the IAF maintained air superiority over the battlefield. Pakistani Air Force aircraft made a few attempts to engage, but they were quickly repelled by the IAF's superior tactics and training.
The IAF's actions had a significant impact. They degraded the enemy's fighting capability, demoralized the Pakistani troops, and paved the way for the Indian Army's final assault.